Dane, while your project has been yielding positive results, the board is a little concerned.
I don't understand.
The Saints are out of control.
That was the point.
Dane, fix the problem.
Okay, maybe I'm being too obtuse. Let me try this again. There is no problem.
We've had enough of your ego.
My ego is what got you this far.
Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here. So today I have a very big gaming news video for you guys, very big crazy current events video. And this video is, something that I think is going to have some mixed feelings on. I think some people are going to be totally happy, and I think some people are going to be really disappointed. Me personally, I guess I would say I'm a mix of sad, but I understand why this happened, and I blame Volition for this. And basically what's happened is Volition has been permanently shut down. The Saints Row developer is gone. The company has fallen apart. It does not exist anymore. A lot of the developers, as far as I know, had gotten jobs elsewhere through Embracer and other fields, but the company Volition is gone. It's completely shut down. They're best known for making Saints Row, the Saints Row series. And after the disastrous Saints Row reboot in 2022, it's no wonder this has happened. It's only a year after, the Saints Row reboot came out that this studio now completely falls apart and it's gone. So let me read the article to you guys, and I'm going to give you guys my thoughts as like a very old school Saints Row fan, somebody who played, all the old Saints Row games, and I'm even, playing, the old Saints Row games right now because it's how much of a special place they have in my heart. But anyways, let's read this article. Saints Row developer Volition Games has been shut down. Volition Games, the studio behind franchises such as Saints Row and Red Faction, has been shut down effective immediately. The news first broke on X.com with several employees posting that they had been let go and that the studio is no more. In an official statement on the studio's website, Volition states that Swedish holding company Embracer Group, which acquired the studio in 2018, has forced it to cease operations as part of Embracer's company-wide restructuring. Volition's full farewell post reads as follows. And they posted this. The Volition team has proudly created world-class entertainment for fans around the globe for 30 years. We've been driven by a passion for our community and always work to deliver joy, surprise, and delight. This past June, Embracer Group announced a restructuring program to strengthen Embracer and maintain its position as a leader in the video game industry. As part of that program, they evaluated strategic and operational goals and made a difficult decision to close Volition effective immediately. To help our team, we are working to provide job assistance and help smooth the transition for our Volition family members. We thank our customers and fans around the world for all those love and support over the years. You will always be in our hearts, Volition Games. So that's it, it's gone. So basically, if you want to know the main reason that Volition was actually let go here, what they're not describing to you is the disastrous Saints Row reboot. Now, Saints Row, when the Saints Row reboot was released, they had this project has cost over $100 million to make, over $100 million. I actually could not believe that number, that a game like that cost over $100 million to develop. Wonder what they were spending that $100 million on exactly, but they spent $100 million on that. And the thing about this is, as bad of a disaster as the Saints Row reboot was for them, before releasing it, I do believe they could have salvaged it. I do believe they could have saved it, because when they saw the backlash that the game had gotten, when the trailer was first revealed, they should have scrapped that then and there. Maybe they still should have kept the same city location. Maybe they should have kept the map at least, because the map they've been developing for some time. But they should have scrapped the characters. They should have scrapped the story and started brand new again with a whole new story. And they should have done it something like the original Saints Row, where you walk into Saints Row, you walk into a gang-controlled neighborhood, you join the Saints, and you help them take down other, gangs. And, reboot characters like Julius, reboot characters like Troy, Johnny Gat, Dex, Pierce, Shandy. You have so many of these characters, Carlos, that they could have just rebooted in an all brand new version of Saints Row. But they chose not to do that. Instead, what Volition did was they doubled down. They doubled down and they attacked fans, and they called fans haters. So if you did not like that new reboot, they called fans haters. And I don't know why Volition was just so against. I don't know why they were personally so against going back to their roots. Because what's happened is, I'll tell you something about Volition's downfall. Volition's downfall, I would say, is 70% their fault in the end. But what's the 30%? Who else is responsible for their downfall? I would say that it's the GTA fanboys. Now you're probably wondering, how are GTA fanboys responsible for the decline of Saints Row and Volition's downfall? Because when Volition was developing Saints Row 1 and 2, that's what it was at its height. was Saints Row 1 and 2. Most Saints Row fans will tell you that it was the best at Saints Row 1 and 2. Even people who have played Saints Row the Third. I told a lot of people on my channel, I've noticed that you guys have never played Saints Row 1 and 2. And I told you guys in the comment section, I told you guys, if you like Saints Row 3, play Saints Row 1 and 2 because you'll like them even more than the Saints Row the Third. And a lot of you guys, when you guys saw my playthroughs of Saints Row 1 and 2, you guys were like, wow, I've never seen this game before. This game is so much better than the third game and the fourth game. So what exactly happened? Why did it go from like gangs and this gang warfare to this crazy, over the top, ridiculous nonsense, being a CEO and selling energy drinks, all the way to becoming like the president of the United States and fighting aliens in some, Matrix simulator, and also, saving Santa Claus and then going into hell and fighting Satan and demons? How did it go from gangs all the way to all that nonsense? Well, it was the GTA fanboys that caused this, because what happened is when Saints Row 1 and 2 came out, the people who played Saints Row 1 and 2 generally loved those games. They said that those games were amazing games. But what happened is you had groups of people, and I remember when Saints Row first came out, and I remember when Saints Row 2 came out, you had groups of people that were harassing the developers of Volition, and they were saying repeatedly, oh, this game is nothing but a GTA clone, it's nothing different than GTA, when no, Saints Row 1 and 2 were very different than GTA. The people who called Saints Row 1 and 2 GTA clones, I'm going to tell you right now, those people are idiots. Those people are stupid, and they had no idea what they were talking about. Do you call Battlefield a Call of Duty clone? Is that what you call it? Because according to their logic, you could call Battlefield a Call of Duty clone. But Battlefield is not a Call of Duty clone. Do you know what Battlefield is? Battlefield is a competitor to Call of Duty. It's another first-person shooter. And that's exactly what Saints Row 1 and 2 were. Saints Row 1 and 2 were competitors to GTA. They were not GTA clones. They were competitors. These people need to learn the difference before they accuse these things of being GTA clones. But they were competitors. Because the GTA is not the only game that's allowed to have a monopoly on the open world crime genre. Why is it that whenever any game comes out, people just refer to it as a GTA clone? Any game, even Watch Dogs 1, when that came out, people called that a GTA clone, which Watch Dogs 1, it was open world, it was crime, sure, but it was nothing like GTA. All the hacking and scanning of NPCs just made it so much different than GTA alone. And Saints Row is no different in that regard. Saints Row, the only similarities between GTA and Saints Row is that you play as a criminal in an open world game and you can steal cars. That's practically the only similarity between the games. But what Saints Row did is, I personally feel like the old Saints Row games did things better, because Saints Row 2 has a much better economy than GTA 4. Like, GTA 4 came out the same year as Saints Row 2. GTA 4 came out April 2008. Saints Row 2, I believe, came out October 2008. And Saints Row 2, with that money, you could spend that on mansions. You could spend that on so many different clothes. You could customize cars. You can even buy cars. The point that I'm making is that in Saints Row, there were so much different things that you could actually spend your money on. All this customization. The customization was so good. Where GTA 4, I love GTA 4. GTA 4 is my favorite GTA game. Don't get me wrong. But it's the worst thing about GTA 4 was the economy was just so bad in GTA 4. Like, if you complete GTA 4's story without dying, without, wasting any money, by the time you get to the end of GTA 4's story, you'll probably have close to $1 million in cash. And so you can't even spend that money anywhere. You can't spend that money really on anything. The only thing you could probably spend that money on is you could spend that money on, guns, hamburgers, or going to a strip club. Is that really a good economy? But that's why I think is Saints Row did the customization in Saints Row was way better than any customization that we've seen in GTA. The economy was way better in Saints Row 2 than in most GTA games. The only other game that I can think of that comes close to having a good economy would be Vice City Stories, and San Andreas had really good economies too. But Saints Row 2 had an even better economy than them. So the point that I'm making is that Saints Row 2 was ultimately my favorite game. It's not just my favorite crime game, but it's my all-time favorite game. It has a very special place in my heart, and it just hurts me that that Volition is to shut down. But at the same time, guys, I'm not defending Volition. I don't want people in this comment section to say that I'm defending Volition, because in the end they do deserve this. It is ultimately their fault. But I'm just explaining to you guys why they changed Saints Row so much. They changed Saints Row so much because people just kept complaining and kept calling it a GTA clone. And instead of listening to your original fans that loved Saints Row 1 and 2, they gave in this small group of people that just kept harassing them and just kept saying, oh, it's a GTA clone, it's a GTA clone. But no, they gave in to that, and unfortunately we got the mess. And most Saints Row fans will tell you that Saints Row didn't start going downhill with the Saints Row reboot. It actually started going downhill with the Saints Row the Third, because once they had Saints Row the Third, what happened is you had fans that were expecting an over-the-top Saints Row game, and what happened is they doubled down. They went an even bigger over-the-top Saints Row game. and it divided the fans. And now you had a group of fans that liked the original Saints Row games, the crime style, and you had a group of fans that liked the crazy over-the-top action. And what they did was, with the Saints Row reboot, they tried to appeal to both groups, but it failed in a total disaster. And they tried to do some ridiculous story where you play as like some hipster college kids. It's pretty much what this is college kids gangsters that had to pay off their student loans. And it was honestly some of the most cringe things that I've ever seen. Just take a look at this.
Fall in line, my big sweaty fucking ass. Fall in line, my big sweaty goddamn motherfucking ass.
Okay.
Shit.
Is there a way for me to zoom in a little bit with the driving?
Shit and piss.
What? Okay, what is...
Piss and vinegar in a goddamn cocktail shaker, sweat, spit, snot, scum, blood, and bile all on the rocks with a twist of fucking lime.
What? Okay.
All in line. Huh.
Oh, everything smells amazing, Kev.
You know what would make it smell even better?
Hey man, if you want a $300 waffle maker, you can buy with the exposure the idols pay you in. Don't expect us to chip in.
I've told you before, the idols are trying to build a post-capitalist society where money is not a concept.
Yeah?
What?
Then why don't you go run off and join the commune?
What did he
I'm
just say?
showering. Are you gonna help me get the waffle maker or not?
As an investor, I don't like wasting money.
You're wearing a fucking bow tie.
Okay, I will throw in $20 for a waffle maker.
Nina?
Good for 10?
Who helped you move your forged paintings last month?
Fine, 15.
What sort of waffle maker can I get for $35?
Presumably one that makes fucking waffles?
Hey, the wage slave is back.
How was your first day? Were the other mercenaries nice to you?
You know, as far as hired killers go, I'd give him a 7.
You look like you could use a mukmosa.
Thanks, Eli.
Seriously, how's the job?
It's the murder business. Fundamentals don't change, just the uniform.
I can tell you love it.
Okay, I don't have to love it, I have to pay my student loans.
Poof, I'm in.
So I'm guessing that means the pay's good.
It's supposed to be.
I have to pay my student
Skipped on my
loans?
bonus today.
Dude, what the fuck?
I played a little fast and loose on the job, and, well, my CEO wasn't a fan.
You gotta be kidding me.
Swear to God, this lady walked right off the set of an 80s action movie. I was half expecting her to call me Rook and threaten to take my badge.
Are we gonna make rent?
We'll make rent. We just gotta be a little more creative.
Last time we got creative, I got stabbed 3 times.
Hey, it would have been 4 times if Nina and I hadn't showed up.
It would have been 0 times if you were on time.
This is true. Look, this is really not a big deal. We just knock off a payday loan place. No one gives a shit if people rob those bastards.
You have a job now. You could actually just take the loan.
Eli, don't do business with morally bankrupt companies.
You worked for Marshall.
Brunch is a time for friends and mimosas, not debates on morality.
All right, all right.
Man, this is really fucking good, Kev.
Thanks. I was worried I added too much pepper.
No, seriously, this is perfect. The only way this could be better is if you put on a fucking shirt.
Dinner and a show, baby.
Oh, please.
Oh my god. I don't know what they were thinking. Now, there was some fun activities in the Saints Row reboot, don't get me wrong. But in the original Saints Row game, the activities were just way better. And like, you know, you had Fight Club, like I'm doing right here. Mayhem were just really fun activities, and you had Fuzz. Why did things like Fuzz and Fight Club, for example, why did these not come back in the Saints Row reboot? I don't know why they didn't. It's like the developer was just trying to erase their past as much as possible. And the thing about this is, Volition could have easily made their money back from what they made with the Saints Row reboot, because they lost a lot of money with the Saints Row reboot. But I'm telling you guys, they could have made their money back, and possibly even more, by doing one simple thing. And what was that? Doing a reboot of Saints Row 2. If they did, or I shouldn't say reboot, remake. If they did a remake of Saints Row 2, if they remade Saints Row 2 with a brand new engine, but it was still the exact same game as Saints Row 2. It still functioned just like Saints Row 2. That would have sold millions. I honestly believe that. And that would have attracted a lot more people to the series. But what happened is, a few days before Volition actually got completely shut down, a fan actually asked them, will you guys ever remake the old Saints Row games? And they said, we have no plans for them. And I wonder, you know, why? My friend RPG Gameplay, he made a video a few years ago in which he talked about how he would love the developer to actually remake Saints Row 2 But they didn't do it. They haven't been listening to it. I mean, the people at Volition would have to be complete idiots if they don't know that fans want a Saints Row 2, a remake. Even if you remake Saints Row 1, tons of people will still buy that. It'll introduce a ton of people to the series, and they'll see that Saints Row did not used to be this goofy, nonsense, ridiculous thing that it is now. The old Saints Row games were still funny, but it wasn't to the point where they were just trying to make you laugh every few minutes. It just got annoying. There were still serious moments in the story, and these characters were still gangsters, where the characters in the Saints Row reboot, these characters were not gangsters. This was just massive cringe. It's like, money fight!
Hey, he was an intense guy.
So,
Let's see him go.
Hey,
they just
we
gave
have
him
a
1
big
gold
win
bar?
today.
Okay, well,
We should do
that's
something
still worth a lot of money,
irresponsible to
but...
celebrate.
What do you have in mind?
Oh, I don't know. The money fight!
Oh, what?
Whoa. Slow down there, buddy.
We'd almost kill Kev.
I was in the moment.
That's exactly what these guys did. I don't know, I don't know what they were thinking. And then you had, the cringe things like the board game, and and you had the cat, and it just kept going on and on. And the developer was like claiming that, like, oh, we want these characters to appeal to the fans. We want fans to relate to these characters. Here's the thing about this. I don't think most of the people watching this are cringe like the Saints Row characters are in the reboot. I know I'm not, and I don't relate to these characters either way. And the thing about this is, in Saints Row 1 and 2, I did not relate to the characters in Saints Row 1 and 2 at all. But even though I didn't relate to those characters at all, I still loved those characters. Why didn't I relate to those characters in Saints Row 1 and 2? Because I'm not a gangster. You're not supposed to relate to gangsters. That's the whole point. The reason that we play video games a lot of times is because we can play as characters that were nothing like in real life. That includes gangsters. Why are gangster movies so popular? People love gangster movies because they can see the perspective of the criminal. That's why people love gangster movies and gangster games. It doesn't mean that we want to be gangsters or anything like that, but you can play as a gangster in a game. So you're not supposed to relate to gangsters. That's the whole point. But when the developer says, oh, we want, fans to relate to these characters, yeah, we're supposed to relate to a bunch of people living together in an apartment, complaining about capitalism and student loans. This is exactly the people that we are supposed to relate to. These I'm surprised there's not an activity in the game where you honestly go to a Starbucks cafe and you just sit there on Twitter and just complain about celebrities, because that would have actually made it much more realistic.
Kev, got eyes on the buyer?
Yep. Here he comes.
And I got the dealer. Nina, they're heading your way. They're here.
You should have eyes on the merchandise.
I sure do.
Was that a gunshot?
Yeah, they shot the dealer.
That is so unprofessional.
How's the patient?
I'm about to take the bandages off.
Is it really you? Do I know you? We gotta get you out of here.
About time your burnt ass woke up.
You okay, Johnny?
Yeah, aside from almost getting sent to the chair, I'm great.
There's a lot of them. Can we do this?
We can't afford not to. Nina, you good?
Yeah, let's do it.
Great. Whenever you're ready, Kevin.
What are you guys thinking for dinner tonight?
How about my world famous chili con carne? Hey guys, what you got in the... Oh, stolen Marshall MDI-101 M9 multi-rocket shoulder launchers. Nice. My buddies and I have been looking all over town for those. Have you been hoarding?
You need me. The hell I do. I got the Saints.
Sure you do.
They place prophets in jail. That's the road?
It is now. Without anyone to lead them, the Saints fell apart. Once the Brotherhood, Ronin, and Samdi showed up, the few that were left dropped their flags before they got killed.
The Saints used to own Stillwater. I think it's time we give those other crews a wake-up call. So save your rations and seek some shelter. Only strong is the weakest fear that themselves.
Do you guys actually hang out down here?
You definitely need a stripper pole in this bitch.
Definitely.
First break out like no.
See, we need him for our startup. It's a criminal empire kind of.
After him!
You really think that a couple of washed-up bangers like you and Gat have a chance against the Brotherhood?
We'll see.
Get some of our boys and kill them!
The Saints are out of control.
We're dealing with violent criminals. Are you really surprised they might do something, I don't know, violent?
But that's pretty much it, guys. That's all I gotta say about this. I'm looking at the timer right now. I've been ranting to close to 15 minutes now. But yeah, that's what I say is, you know, for me personally, it's a combination of just disappointment, you know, sadness, but also understanding. I'm not, you know, I'm more, when I'm sad that Volition is closed down, I blame them in the end. It's ultimately their fault. But I am also sad in a way because you have to understand my perspective. I grew up with Saints Row 1 and 2. Saints Row 1 and 2 were huge parts of my childhood. And to see a developer just ignore their fans, neglect their fans, and insult their fans, and just call them haters, and to see such a great studio just fall apart into what it is now, release such a disappointing game and completely close down. It is what happened to the old Volition. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think down below. And for people wondering, am I going to do the final Saints Row DLC, because there's one final Saints Row DLC that I never covered, yes, I will still cover that. So thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you did, do drop a like. Let me know what you think down below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.